Oh, what's up, family? What's going on, family? I hope everybody can hear us and see us okay. Hey, we are back on Skills Test the Assets with your guy, Tony Clopton, and my awesome co-host with the hair popping all over the screen, Melissa King. How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm doing better than yesterday. I fooled around and I don't know if it's sinuses and allergies or I didn't caught a summer cold, but yesterday I was beautiful. But
Uh-oh,
hey, I'm here today,
you're here
smiling.
today. Yeah, by the grace of God, we are all here today. Look, we're not gonna hold you guys long. I got something real quick that I want to share with you guys. You know, I like to lead off with some other experts in their field, and she ties in well. You guys know her. She is Dr. Lynn Richardson. She's sharing some information that we also share, some of the same terminology, and hopefully the way she delivers it, you guys will understand. So give us about 5 minutes, y'all. It's about 5 minutes long. So stay with us, and then we're gonna come back and dive in. Cool? Okay.
Let it rip.
All right.
And I was making 80, 90,000 dollars a month, not a year. It did not matter. So the number one thing that I have to say to people is more money doesn't solve a money problem. If it did, millionaires wouldn't go bankrupt. There's only one way for us to start to, get on this path to being financially free, and it's to spend less money. We come from a history of having. And so when we get the opportunity to have it, it's not that we are not intelligent. It's not that we aren't capable. African Americans and people of color, we are presidents. We go to the moon. We are astronauts. We are academically inclined. But when it comes to wealth, we are last. And so I tell everybody to live by the 10, 10, 30, 50. The first 10% you tithe, the next 10% you save. Right now in a pandemic, we've had a great opportunity. As a matter of fact, consumer spending, our consumer saving is up 10% from 5% up to 15%. The next 30% is cash, and cash helps you avoid a spending addiction, which is what you have when you go to the grocery store for toothpaste and walk out with $179.47 worth of stuff you don't need, talking about it was on sale, and it wasn't on sale for you. And the remaining 50% stays in your checking account for your bills. So that's really the basics of it. There's a lot more to it. We have to spend less money. We have to get more money, because the more money you make, the more the IRS will take. So we have to have multiple streams of income, and then we have to learn how to get our money back. You see, if you went to the grocery store and you bought $300 worth of groceries and you came home and ate them all, and the grocery store manager said, come back and get your money, keep the food, you'd go back and get your money. But that's what the IRS says. The IRS says if you have a business, and I'm talking any home-based business, I'm talking DJs, nail technicians, makeup artists, babysitters, lawnmowers. If you have a home-based business, the IRS says when you go out to eat and you eat for business, you get your money back. When you can hire your kids to work in your home-based business. So many kids are home right now. So we have to learn the rules of the money game and then play the game by the rules. And I think right now, with the new administration coming in, I think this is the prime opportunity for people of color to really dig in and not be embarrassed, not be ashamed, because everybody has either had a money problem, is having a money problem, or will have a money problem at some time in the future, but to start to really do the homework to get our money straight.
Now, how did
Let me ask you a question.
Go back to $80,000?
Yeah.
How did you spend $80,000 a month and still broke? What were you spending? Were you flying private? Were you popping bottles? What were you doing spending $80,000 a month?
I started out making, just like everybody else, I started out my first job making $25,000. Then you get a raise, now you're making $50,000 a year. Then you get into your flow, now I'm making $100,000 a year. Then I go into sales, now I'm making $50,000 a month. So here's the deal. If you get a raise and raise your expenses, you no longer have a raise. You in bondage, right? So what happens is when we get a raise, you get a $25,000 raise, you buy a $50,000 car. You get a $100,000 raise, you buy a $200,000 house. So my issue wasn't a spending addiction. Really, my issue wasn't buying clothes. It wasn't buying drugs. I don't smoke. I don't do anything. I had an issue worse than that. I thought I was God. I thought I could save everybody. So when my family members needed money, I would loan money to people even when I didn't have it, so they wouldn't think I was broke, which I was. So then that's a cycle. My kids were all-star cheerleaders. We were traveling all around the country. They were on ESPN. Any other kids who couldn't afford to go, I would pay for them. I would pay for their mother. So a lot of times we call ourselves sacrificing. We are strong and we love our community. But the best thing we could do for broke people is not be one of them, and then really start to do the homework so that we can elevate our financial game and then really have something to give back. But that's what it was. I got a bigger house. I got more cars. I took more trips. And I did not have a budget. I used to think budgets were for broke people. Isn't that crazy? Like the biggest institutions on the planet, they have a budget. And guess what? If they spend too much money on paper clips, then you're going to go into the office on Monday. You're going to have a paperclip memo. They're going to say, if you want a paperclip, you have to come see the paperclip clerk. Why? Because they saw that on the budget, there was too much money spent. And that's what we have to do. So they realized the CEO wasn't going to get his bonus. So what we have to do is start to track our spending. Some say money talks, but I say money walks away from you quietly and you don't know where it went. I wish money was here. I'm about to roll bounce up out of here. And when you come find me, I ain't gonna be here. But it does not talk. So we have to go and track every single dime. And what happens with us, we all say it's just. How many times have we said it's just? It's just $2. It's just $10. It's just $100. It's just $1,000. So when you add up all the it's just, that's where your wealth is.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Boy, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look, it's all about them cycles, man. I don't care how much you make. Like I say, I don't care if you're a $100,000, $1,000, millionaire. People struggle with the same issues. Just stop upgrading your lifestyle just because you make a little money, right? Yep.
Same issues, just on a larger scale.
Absolutely. That's why so many people in our company that are on, man, we got engineers, doctors, lawyers, judges, man, we got nurses, we got people that own other companies, man, multi-millionaires. They still struggle with the same deal as somebody that works a real job like myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm barely pushing 100K, but hey, I still struggle. 6, 7 figures, still struggle with the same thing. MK, what you get out that video?
Look, the biggest thing I got, I had to write that down. She said, the best thing we can do for broke people is not be broke. So in the words of my auntie said this about her, about my cousin, said she ain't doing nothing up there at that school with making the crowd bigger. We don't need to make the broke crowd bigger. They don't want us over there.
Yeah, for sure. Boy, y'all is sleeping on this information. Look, when you connect with other like-minded people, you're going to hear stuff like Melissa just heard. Hey, I heard the same thing, but I didn't never hear it like that. It's like, utilize what other people are telling you because they've been there. This woman made $80,000 a month and she was still broke. And my boys were like, man, how you spend $80,000?
Right.
She said it was easy. She was upgrading her lifestyle, trying to help poor people. And she ended up being broke herself.
And see, I feel like that's what happened to a lot of athletes, a lot of entertainers. You know, we want to bring people with us, but number one, a lot of times they are new to the money. They weren't born into it. They don't know how to, I'm not going to say everybody don't know how to manage it, but I'm going to say probably on these athletes and, people that just make it big all of a sudden, a lot of them, just like us, they ain't have no money training. All they know is what they did before, what they dreamed about doing when they got some money, and that they got families. They're going to buy their mama a house. My baby, the love of my life, Shaxter, he said that his only goal when he started out was to buy his mom a nice place to live. And look where he is now. I just got to plug him because that's my boo. But anyway, they haven't been taught, and their heart is in the right place. Like she was saying, she paying for other people to go on trips that can't go, and this, that, and the other. And then I was feeling her on it. That it's just, I done said it's just a bunch of times on stuff. Yeah. But she is so right, because what I used to get frustrated with on my job was, on the job, you ain't gonna get no significant. I don't know how they do it where you work, but where I work, the max you gonna get every year is anywhere between 1% and 4%. And when you really break that down, you might be getting, sometimes you're getting an extra $20 a paycheck, maybe an extra $50 a paycheck, depending on what your salary is. But here's the thing, every year, the cost of health insurance would go up.
Right.
So if the cost of health insurance goes up by the same amount of raise you got,
right,
you ain't get no raise.
You ain't get no raise.
You right where you were.
It looked good on paper. Right.
Your raise got met by inflation.
Right.
And they kept you right here. But in your mind, you might be thinking, well, I'm making a little more money now.
Right.
You know, I can spend a little more money. But you know, it's like she said, and I feel her on that whole thing at work when she started talking the paper clips, because she showed right. When we started looking at the budget, and like I was the manager and I was ordering supplies, and I'm like, we spent way too much money on this right here.
Right.
We ain't ordering no more. You know, people say, go and give me 10, 15, and it wasn't even my money. This the company money. But at the same time, when it comes to our personal income and personal budget, we won't be as strict as we'll be on these jobs trying to save them money for their business, which they only got 1 to 4%.
Right. You know what? I think a lot of times jobs have made it so comfortable for us to know that we're going to get a paycheck next week, then you end up spending more than you need because you know that the check is coming. It's like, that's the problem, right? You got to respect every dollar. And if that dollar is not making you $2 or $3, then you're going to always be behind the curveball. Money doesn't come with instructions. That's for sure. Like you say, it don't matter how much money you make, whether you're a millionaire or billionaire. It's like, if you don't respect the dollar and it's not growing to outpace inflation, you're going to always be struggling. You know what I'm saying? That's textbook for me now. I understand it now, but I think our business is to help educate people on how to get their money growing, right? So what was our title today, MK? Grow Your Wealth with a Block of Instructions, right? So me and Melissa, we joined this company. So look, hey, in about a minute, can you condense what joining this business did for you by a block of instructions to help people understand that they can do it too?
Oh Lord, you put me on a time constraint.
Okay. Give me a minute.
Okay. Joining this business taught me, like you said, you know, it was like getting some instructions. Like before, where I was just going through and figuring it out, it was like somebody came and sat down and gave me a piece of paper with a checklist that said, this is what you need to do. So since I joined this business, I organize and prioritize, you know, and everybody's strategy is not going to be the same. But for me, my strategy first was to pay off debt. I had too much debt looming. So I learned how to snowball effect, pay that down. Then I learned that I need to have some emergency money set aside. So in the same respect that I snowballed, paid down the bills, I snowballed up an emergency plan. So now I have that in place for if something comes up. My next goal was make sure I'm doing everything I can to keep that credit score right. So I started getting involved with that. I was already on that path, but this gave me, like you said, this gave me instructions. You know, before I'm just like, let me see who all I owe. But I didn't know that there were actually 5 different sections of the credit score that's affected. So all I was focusing on was paying stuff off. There were 4 other areas that I wasn't even touching on because I didn't know about them. So that was my next goal. Check that off. Then my next goal and instruction was bring in multiple streams of income. So I fixed my W-4. That brought in an extra stream of income. That brought me in an extra almost $900 a month. I hired my child. That brought me in more income because her salary is a deduction for me. So there's more money coming in. My next thing I did was look into what I was already doing with my retirement and seeing what investments I can make and learning what it means, learning the difference between an IRA, a 401k, a mutual fund, you know, all of them terms that was just floating around. So I sat down and I evaluated that. I asked questions. I ain't saying it's perfect now, but it's better than it was. So in a nutshell, that's where my block of instructions have brought me to.
Okay, well, I know I wasn't fair when I said a minute, but
Right.
see, Melissa took it a step further. Like, we teach people, take your time. And a lot of people say, I just don't have time to do this. I'm too busy. I'm too busy to do that. But look, once you get your own block of instructions, your own business, you take your time and work it the way you want. Now, mine is a little bit different. I worked in the auto industry. We worked a lot of overtime hours. So I instantly saw where I was losing most of my money. And it was the adjustment of the W-4 that really piqued my interest. So we show people how to get a pay raise on their job without asking their boss. Melissa she talked about that earlier, how, like, you can be making all of this money, and if you don't know what to do with it, then what? So I figured out, and I learned through income shifting, how to properly adjust my W-4, which put additional almost $1,000 back into my paycheck, into my pocket, y'all. It's like, that was the eye-opening experience. Like, this is what they've been beating me at. The more you make, the more they take. But it's because of our lack of understanding about the W-4, we were giving our money away unknowingly. So I took the extra money, paid off my debt, and started learning how to fix my own credit. And then I was able to start snowballing my debt. See, Melissa's a little bit different. She might not work as many hours as I did, but that was the first thing that made me want to jump on board, was that, and writing off my lifestyle, which one of my coworkers said she wrote off 100% of her trip when she take a vacation. That was another thing that gave me man, I got to do this. I can do both of those at the same time. It's like percentages. I think Dr. Lynn Richardson spoke of this. She said she tied, she paid off some debt, she fixed her credit, she paid off some debt. I was like, wow, you just got to have a system, like she said, a system to help you stay on track and not fall off the wagon like so many people are doing right now, because they really don't have those instructions.
Right. And so many things she said resonated with me, because she also mentioned about how you go to the grocery store, you say you're gonna pick up one. Oh, I'm so bad about it. You're gonna pick up one thing. I purposely, to try to tame myself not to spend, because I'm a Publix girl. I like going to Publix. I know it's a little bit more expensive, but the people are so freaking nice. And the store I go to is always clean. Publix, give me some coupons or something. I'm shouting y'all out now. And when I go in there, I don't even get a cart, because I'm like, if I get a cart, I'm gonna buy a bunch of stuff that I don't need. And my goal is to go in here and buy some washing powder. That's all I want. I come out there about $100 later with all of this buy one, get one, and all that stuff. And it's like she said, they make you feel like you couldn't pass this up. But technically, some of that stuff you could have passed up. And it's the same way, like you said, the pivotal thing about when you adjusted your W-4 and you said you got that money and you was grinning because you brought it home. That point right there was the pivotal point, because the next question is, now that I got it, what am I going to do with it?
Right.
Am I
block of instructions got to kick in.
Am I going to ball out? Am I going to go buy some new Jordans? Am I going to the club? Am I hitting it? You know what I'm saying? It's like that point right there is what a lot of people are lacking, because, I saw you posted on Facebook this morning. If somebody gave you $50,000, what would you do with it? And you gave us an ABCD, whatever.
Right.
And everybody's response was different. But if you got instructions, you kind of don't even have. I know for me personally, I would pay some bills. So it's all about your priorities or whatever. But if you don't have instructions, you headed somewhere. You headed to the casino.
Oh yeah.
Flip this at the casino.
Yeah.
It's all kind of things you might have on your list to do, but instructions are so important. And that's why, instructions are important. And I feel like, and then, a lot of people say I'm nerdy, but I think rules are important, because rules maintain so that you don't have chaos.
Right.
And to me, rules and instructions are kind of like the same thing, because if you don't have a guideline to follow, you'll be all over the place. And
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. So we talking about the rules and the block of instructions. Let's be clear with this. There are people that don't want you to have block of instructions, right?
Thank you.
Because they are making money off of your
you.
lack of, right? So where do you get your financial knowledge about how money works? I mean, it's already a trust issue in our communities. We know, hey, I don't trust you. It's shiesty. It's a scam. You're going to jail, using fear and all of that stuff. So who
just
do
trying
you
to get in my business? You
right?
Want to know how much money I make?
Money I
I'm not
make.
gonna tell you all that.
Right. Who do you trust? Who can you trust when it comes to helping you with your personal finances? Who can you trust?
You know, most people, I think, go by what they've been taught. And mind you, you didn't learn it in school. This was taught to you generationally through your family. You know, whether they sat down and told you or you watched them make choices. You know, that's just like something as simple as, like, one of my girlfriends. She buys a lot of stuff in bulk because she grew up in a household where her mom would stock up on things, and they got months and months and months of it. My household wasn't like that. My dad bought enough for this week, and when he went back to the grocery store, he got some more. Not saying that either way was wrong, but my whole point is, you go by how you've been taught, whether it's by, I'm sure her parents never told her, look, you always got to buy 50 boxes of these when you get it. You know, because mine didn't tell me, look, don't buy no more than one. So you base it on what you've seen. And the problem is, like you said, and this is one of the first things I heard in my econ when I started, America is a capitalistic society. And in my head, I'm like, what is capitalism? Is that like, you know, when they said capitalism, I was thinking about like the Russians or something. I'm like, what they talking about? Like, I didn't know, but capitalism basically means when you make money off of other people.
Got a question.
In my opinion, that's what I see it as.
I got a question. This probably gonna rip some folks out here. What is the definition of slavery?
Slavery, to me, my definition would be is when you are making somebody else work for you, but you the only one getting rewarded. They're not getting no reward for it. They're not getting no pay for it.
So what's the difference between slavery and debt?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You know, I've seen so many posts, and I'll you know, some of them can be graphic because you'll have the black people in the chains and the slave scene, and they'll have a picture of a credit card, and it usually says debt is the new slavery, and it sounds crass when you hear it or when you see it, but it's the truth. Because if you have bought something and let's say you paid $200 for it, and you know, I ain't gonna get on my sob story with the not buy here, pay here, but the payday loan, because to me that was pure slavery. It's like you done paid that $200 off months ago, but you still got to keep working, because what is it that Mr. Stokes says? Interest is the cost you pay for buying things you can't afford.
Yeah.
So basically, when you do credit, you get it on credit. Well, I ain't gonna say every time, because some people buy stuff on credit for different reasons, but a lot of times people buy on credit because they don't have the money. So it's something you need, though. It might be something you can't wait to get, wait on to get. You got to use credit, but see, these creditors are capitalizing off of the fact that you need this right now. So they basically saying, okay, I can give it to you, but you're gonna have to pay me more than it's worth. And even once you done paid it off, you still paying them depending on how big of a purchase it was, what your credit score was, what kind of interest you had. So they capitalizing off of what you need.
Okay. That makes sense.
Deanna said, hey, Tony and Melissa at work watching and bush watching. So she working and watching.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I apologize. I can't see anybody's comments. So Melissa, if you see somebody, just feel free to shout them out. Okay, hey, this is an eye-opening experience for me, and hopefully somebody out there that help people understand that it's a mindset. A lot of us have been conditioned to think that you can't become wealthy, but we're telling you you can, because we freed ourselves up, and our results are speaking for us. It's not like somebody told us to say this. It's like we are applying these strategies.
You got a call.
These strategies, they're working. So look, my next question is in the comments, it was like, what is group economics? So Melissa, I already know what it is because I did look it up. Do you know in your mind, your definition, what group economics is?
Okay, you putting all of these, you put me to a test today. I'm feeling like I'm at school.
We learned.
Before I answer, let me shout out to Delencia. She said, hey, she over there on our Facebook page. Hey, Delencia Renee. Okay, so for me, when I think group economics, I think a group of people getting together and working towards the same goals and trying to build together. Not necessarily to the point that we all got a bank account where we all put money in or anything like that. But I'm thinking like, you know, let's say a group of us decide we want to build something in our community, and we all working towards building our money up so that when it's time to build this, whatever, we can all take a part in, you know, the profits from it, or we're investing. You know what I'm saying? So when I think of economics, I think of things like that, because, you know, there are so many communities. And, you know, I never try to make anything a race thing, but I will say group economics is something you see a lot in Asian communities. You see it a lot in Latino communities, in Indian communities, because, you know, think about your beauty supply stores, your gas stations, you know, and it was something I was just talking about with my family over the weekend. You know, I've always heard that, like, with the Asian community, when somebody new moves here, they all get together and help this person get established and get started. And then they grow the community. And then you got people who have been here since birth for generations and generations. And we don't have stores and things like that. But, you know, a lot of times over here, because it is a capitalistic society, and a lot of times it's so big on, you know, not with us trying to make money off of each other individually. We don't do the group thing a lot of times. And, you know, I ain't going to say, a lot of people don't do it because they haven't been burned before. Like, you may have had opportunities where you were open-minded about doing something, and somebody, you know, ripped you off, you know, made money off of you, this dreaded pyramid that I always hear about, some stuff like that. So, you know, people go by, they're apprehensive and extra careful. But then sometimes when you're extra careful, you can block your own blessing by being overly, you know,
overthinking it, or procrastinating.
I'm not saying jump on every opportunity to come through, but if it's something you're interested in, like with this, you know, like I say all the time, I watched you with this for a good 6 to 9 months. Not that we was talking every day and we was you know, cool like we are right now back then, but I watched you from a standpoint of, I saw you on Facebook, I was checking out your posts, all that stuff. And then, you know, just like with Candy, when she say she was checking us out, she went to the Better Business Bureau. She did her research on YouTube, you know, different places to see what kind of comments she checked out, you know, do that type of work. And then if your gut still tells you this is not the opportunity for you, that's different. But, you know, some people just shut down before, I ain't fool with that, I don't want to hear about that, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes you block your blessings, because think about all of the people who got approached about Netflix probably when they first got started. And somebody was like, man, that ain't gonna work. And you know, people got cable, they ain't finna pay you no $7.99 a month to watch TV. What they thinking now?
I done been there. I done missed some opportunities. I think I did a post a couple of days ago. I said missed opportunities will cost you. And it's like I like to lead by facts. When I speak of the W-4 adjustment, I read it right off of the paper so people can understand it. We talking about educating, right? And sometimes what you learn becomes your truth. Nobody gotta say, well, I heard it from Tony. No, Tony showed me where I can go read it for myself, and then you take that information and share it with somebody else. I already know that everybody that has a job is being overtaxed. But they're on a different tax bracket. I read that for myself. Now I'm gonna show you where I learned it. So now you got it. Now you can't say Tony told me. No, Tony didn't tell you. You got I showed it right there in the IRS. You can hire your child. I showed you where that. So it's as what we're teaching right now is like you can show people where you got it. And it's not like word of mouth. It's like he said, she said. It's like it's backed by facts, right?
Right.
And that's how we grow up here.
Anytime you go to irs.gov, that's official. You know, that's like we're not saying this. This is a government thing. And you know, a lot of information is put out there for us. Number one, we don't know where to find it because we're not directed to it. And that's to me, and this could be conspiracy theory me, but I think that's intentional a lot of times that we're not directed to certain things. We've been conditioned to think that certain opportunities were not created for us. But my thing is, you define who us is. When you say us, you know, like I was telling you before, well, who is us? People who from Alabama? People from Portland?
Right.
People who drive a Ford? What?
Yeah.
You know, you define who us is. It's like if you decide you don't want to do this, don't blame. Own up to the fact that you're not willing to give it a try. Don't say, well, I can't do it because they don't want me to have nothing. I wasn't supposed to have nothing. It's designed that we don't get ahead. No, it's not. You know, now I'm not gonna say it's gonna be just easy peasy, but the instructions is there, but folks can get them and follow them while we can.
Absolutely. That you said it on the head. It's like you got the instructions. All you have to do is follow them. And that's one of the things that the co-founder said, that if you can follow instructions, you can become wealthy. Follow somebody already wealthy. He always talks about it. He said, making money is subject specific. You can't talk to a doctor or a nurse about getting wealthy because they're working in their field at somebody's job. They are on a time constraint. We are trading all of our time for dollars. Don't you think those doctors and nurses get burnt out at their job, wishing they could go home? They feet hurting, their back hurting. They love patients, but they also love being at home resting, right? So we all stretched out to a certain extent, but what we're doing is showing and sharing information on how you can get money working for you, where you don't have to work all of your life. Now you can love your job, but hey, I love going on vacation and eating great food and enjoying my family too. So who wouldn't want that type of life?
Look, I'm not gonna even look. I don't hate my job, but I ain't in no love affair with my job. I'm on my job because I have bills to pay. So it's not something that I would have a problem walking away from if the opportunity came up. But you know, I just feel like people get in their own way sometimes. You know, it's like the opportunities are there, and then we will complain about it. That's what gives me. We will complain and be burned out. Oh, it's Sunday, tomorrow, Monday. I don't want to go back on this job. This don't make no sense. I'm tired of working, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, we're always scared to take that step, to do something different, to get away from it, you know? So sometimes you hold your own self back.
Right. Okay. I ain't got long left. So I'm gonna jump right back on what is group economics. So let me talk a little bit about what we got going on in our company. We literally have millionaires. I'm talking about young, old, Puerto Rican, Haitian, black, white, everybody that becomes successful in our company. They're sharing tips on how we can grow our business. Man, there's over 1 million trees of people that need what we need. We got credit repair. We got debt elimination software. We got a travel membership that is accessible. All you got to do is get your block of instructions. So I'm talking about people that own their A game, already making 6-7 figures from home, that are helping people at the bottom that don't know how to grow a business or that are looking to grow their business by just sharing. And man, I think that's what to me, that's what group economics is all about, is helping everybody grow collectively. You know, you sharing your ideas with me. I'm sharing your ideas and my concerns about why I'm not growing. They showing you, oh, this is what I did. And everybody wins. Ain't nobody jealous. Ain't nobody selfish. It's the mindset of the people that you connect with in group economics. It may not be your family and friends. You can't connect with strangers. Y'all got something, and y'all got connections right in the mind about, I want better. I want a better life. I don't want to work all my life. I want to be able to help somebody. Those are the people that me and Melissa are looking for. We're looking for people that's looking to help themselves and help others. And that's when the true blessings come in, right?
That is. And you know, that's one of the things I was so impressed by. When I went to the first group function, which back then it was a game changer when we were going to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And before I went, I was like, I'm gonna go. I was, you know, I had joined I'm trying to think how long I had been in the business. I had been in the business, I'm gonna say maybe 4 or 5 months, because I want to say it was like in the spring, and I joined the year before in November. And I was like, everybody's been so nice, and it seems like everybody's on the up and up. Folks ain't around here trying to, you know, undercut nobody, and everything feels positive. So I gotta say, when I went to that meeting, I left there feeling so energized and so charged, and feeling like it wasn't nothing I couldn't do as far as making money. And you know, being around a group of people like that are like-minded, that everybody's goal is to see everybody else win, it was so refreshing. And I think that's what really made me come in and stay in. It's just positive. And then I'm looking at people that look like me, that's got the same attitude about helping each other. And you know, like you said, Tony, there were doctors there, there were lawyers there, there were mechanics there, people that worked at McDonald's were there. It was all different types of people, but then it wasn't no class. It was like all of us were there in the same class, learning the same thing together. It wasn't no bachelor's degree versus high school education.
Right.
It wasn't no PhD versus I quit school in 11th grade. We all were there with the same purpose. We all were there to learn, and it was just so positive. And that's what I like. And I think that's what kept me in for so long, and why I like doing this type of thing, because, you know, when we come on twice a week, we try to provide that same energy that we felt when we started, because it makes a difference. You know, being around negativity is draining.
It's draining.
Very draining. And it's hard enough when you're stepping out on faith and you try to do something new, and you already a little bit iffy anyway. You want to be around people that's like, you know what?
Let's go.
I was like that too.
Let's
Don't
get it.
worry about it. It's gonna be
got
fine.
this. Yeah.
You know, so that's what I found with this business. And you know, I say all the time, I got a gift. I don't know what it is, but until I find it, my econ had enough things inside of the business that I could still win, even though I don't know particularly what my area of expertise may be. And it's like he said, like Mr. Stokes, I appreciate Mr. Stokes and Mr. Curry, because these are two men that have made it. Both of them millionaires. They don't gotta help nobody else, and they still gonna be where they are. But they, for the last 16 years, have taken time that if you want to learn how to do it, we'll show you. We ain't gonna force it down your throat. You gotta put the work in, but we'll show you. So it's like, do you see Trump doing that? Do you think Trump would do that for you? Who else? I don't know a lot of millionaires, so I can't name a bunch of them. Bezos, whoever the guy is to start Amazon, whatever. Those people don't give a damn whether I make $1 or not.
Keep spending your money with me.
With me. Keep paying me. That's what it's music. It's like somebody trying to warm up for a song.
Me.
But
I need your money. I need your money.
Look, them the ones that's like, don't join that stuff. Get you a job. Well, if you got a job, you know you're gonna get paid every Friday.
Yeah, come on, that stuff don't work. They ain't nothing but a scam. If I was you, I would keep working that job, keep overpaying your money, and spending all your money to big business. That's what you need to do. That's what you were designed to do. How about that?
Yeah, them ain't nothing but pipe dreams. Leave them pipe dreams alone. It's just gonna cost you
get out the clouds.
That's how capital, that's how they think, because
Hey,
that's
you ain't
how
nothing,
we're
and you ain't never gonna be nothing.
right.
That's what they want you to.
Because here's the thing: if everybody took on the mentality that they were gonna build their own business, who gonna work for them? Where they gonna get their employees from? How they gonna get from being $1,000 company to $1 billion company if everybody else is out there doing their own thing and they ain't got no staff?
Show enough.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
They're not gaining anything by encouraging you to go out and start your own business. Not a damn thing.
Mm-hmm. Look, I'm gonna say this right here too. A lot of people keep stressing themselves about, I got to go get another job. I got to go get another degree. And the bottom line is, even when you go back to school, they're not going to teach you how to make more money. We just said making money is not going to fix your money problems. It's like you could literally take what you have and build on it, leverage what you have and build on it. It's not always about a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. A lot of times those things are attached with a dollar amount. Y'all know what I'm talking about, student loan debt, attached with interest that you're going to be paying for the next 30, 40 years. We understand that. But the founders of our company taught us and helped us understand that making money is subject specific. If you know what you want to do, leverage that. But you don't need to have to go out and get 2 or 3 jobs or 2 or 3 degrees to make the type of money that you want.
Right. And like we always say, and like I've heard every leader in my econ say, we are never knocking a job. There's nothing wrong with having a job. But if you're under the impression that a job is going to make you wealthy, that is not designed to do that. A job is designed to keep you afloat, keep the economy moving, and for the people who own that particular company to continue to grow. But we're not knocking a job. I'm not knocking education. I myself have a bachelor's degree. I've had opportunities to go back to school, but once I've always worked 2, 3 jobs because, like I said, I watched my dad do that. He didn't tell me, Lisa, or they call me Lisa at home. He didn't say, Lisa, when you finish school, you need to go get you 3 jobs. He never told me that. But because I grew up seeing that, automatically when I finished college and I started working, I got that first full-time job, and I was started instantly looking for some part-time. But I wasn't even, at the time, all I knew is I was trying to stack my money, stack your paper. But once I joined my econ and realized that the more I worked, the more they was gonna take, I wasn't really interested in it, and I had enough to cover my expenses, and I had a little extra, and I took that little extra, and I was frivolous with it. So I didn't really build anything, but at that time, I didn't have the knowledge that I have now. So now that I've gotten older, I tell people, unless my job tell me you got to go back to school and get a master's degree, I'm not going back to school, because I look at it like you were just saying, how much is it going to cost me to go get this master's degree? And then number 2, am I going to get more money from my job now that I've created this new debt for this master's degree? Now, if it's worth it, maybe I would. Or if they told me I'm going to be fired if I don't, it really don't leave me a choice. But, at least now I know that I don't have to run out and do that, because I know people who in this business who have a high school diploma that financially are way more advanced than I am, because they started these strategies and applied the principles of growing wealth and took off with it. They're younger than me. They've got less education than me. And you know what? I ain't mad at them. I'm happy for anybody that builds and grows. And all I can say is, share it with other people so they can do the same thing. Tony, you got somebody, Abby Stalker Mom says, hello, Tony. Hi, everyone. Hey, Abby Stalker Mom. But that's just how I feel about it. I think that if you're in the right group and you're in a positive group, then group economics is a powerful thing.
It can be. Very.
We've seen it work for other people. So, and we're not saying you got to define who the group is. The group is whoever wants it.
Right. There you go. For sure.
Right.
Yeah. Connection. It's the connections, the networking. And I'm one to always say this is what excites me, is being able to educate people on something that I know works for me. Now,
Right.
it may not work for you because, you know, I'm talking about once I get something stuck in me, hey, I'm like, my mind is like, okay, what's my next move? I got to do this. I got to make sure my family good. Something happened to me, I got to make sure my daughter and my wife is good. Got my insurance on point, you know, house, got 6 months of worth of, expenses built up, emergency fund, all of that. That's the block of instructions we trying to get y'all to see, man. No more stressing about money. You know what I'm saying? We got the game plan. All you got to do is just plug in, get your block of instruction, and let's roll.
Right. So I appreciate it. I tell you all the time, I appreciate you for taking the time out and introducing me to this. I appreciate myself for being nosy enough, trying to find out what you're doing.
I want to thank me. I want to thank me for accepting the challenge. I want to thank me for putting all the hard work in.
Right. And I want to thank the Lord for giving me common sense, because that's all you need.
Yeah,
that's all you need is a little common sense.
Yeah.
And, and stop being lazy.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it. Don't be lazy. Because laziness, or I ain't going to say even laziness, stop being comfortable.
Yeah.
Get out of your comfort zone. Because when you're comfortable and you're complacent, you get to where you're okay with where you are, even though inside and mentally you're really not okay. Because if you were, you wouldn't be still saying how you hate to go to work and complaining and doing. So to me, when you're comfortable, it may feel comfortable, but technically you're not comfortable if you're still feeling like, I want more.
I want more.
It's
a hunger. I heard Eric Thomas, man, the motivational, that guy. So, man, he said it's a hunger inside of you, something that makes you want to do more. It's because you're supposed to be doing more. Like, oh, boy, say that again.
Right. Yeah, that was like, you called me one time, and it was like later in the day, and what was it, about 10:30? You was like, you still in the bed? Don't you know the early bird get the worm? I'm like, but I ain't hungry though. So it's based on how hungry you are.
Right.
If you're comfortable with that, what you eating every day, then stay where you at.
Stay where you at. Ain't no pressure.
Talk about this filet mignon and all this other stuff you want, and all you got is crackers and potted meat, but you ain't willing to go out and put the work in.
Put the work in.
That filet mignon. Don't even bring your nose over here and smell it, because it's just gonna make you mad.
That's right. But look, okay, I got to get ready to roll up out of here. Yeah, right. So look, y'all can get more information at www.incomeshifting.com. Hey, look at the video. It's a quick video that can kind of give you guys a great idea about what we do. And you welcome to reach out to me or Melissa or any other My Econ associates out there. We want to share this information with you. Whether you got credit issues, you want to improve your cash flow, you want to pay off some debt, get your house, buy a car, whatever the case may be, we're going to help you get to the money.
Well, I typed it down there in the comments, www.incomeshifting.com.
Okay, great.
I put it down there. If anybody wants to check that out, just check it out. Just do it. I'll be like Nike. Just do it. It ain't gonna kill you to check it out. If you're not interested, don't worry about it. But it's a link. Y'all hit links for bull crap all the time. And the reason I know it, because I be hitting them with you. I be in there watching the crap too, but hit a link that's gonna tell you something useful.
Right. So hey, we want to thank you all for coming on. I think we're gonna be back. Oh, you're gonna be doing your thing on Wednesday with the group?
Yeah, I know you gotta work. But I will still be coming live tomorrow night. Anybody in Legacy Builders over on our Facebook page or that's a part of our group, come on. We talk about, it's like a laid back conversation. We do dialogue. Any questions you got, it's for the old heads, for the new people. Anything you want to ask is just like, ask whatever you like. I don't have a co-host tomorrow night, so if anybody want to pop on with me, hint, Lakivia, hint, whoever,
Cedric,
Candy,
anybody,
anybody
Q,
Cedric, anybody want to come on, and help me answer questions. You know, I'm gonna hit it solo, but I would love to have somebody come up on the panel with me. So, you know, I'll be dropping it tomorrow night. It was something else I was gonna say, and I forgot. Shit. Okay, never mind.
Okay, so we'll be coming back. It's all. Okay.
I was gonna say. I know what I was gonna say.
Okay.
This on a personal note. You know, Angela always come in and check us out. I saw her on a live last night. She said she hadn't been feeling well, so I just want to say shout out to Angela. I hope you get feeling better. Also want to say shout out to my folks over in Omaha. You know, they had a bad storm Friday night.
Oh, okay.
And the good table was out of power for like 48 hours.
Wow.
And there are still people in Omaha now that are without power. So shout out to them.
For y'all. Praying for y'all.
So just wonder, I like to support the people that support us. So they usually hear certain ones are always here. Even if they like Deanna. She says she in the bushes, but they're always here. So I just want to throw that out there.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, you guys have a blessed day. Your boy got to go handle some business, and I'll see you guys on Thursday.
All right. Have a good evening.
All right. Bye-bye.